Welcome. Today is November the 26th, 2012. It's now time for the weekly San Jose State football press conference. A few notes. San Jose State in the BCS standings at number 25. First time for San Jose State University. This Sunday, December the 2nd at 1 p.m., the football team will celebrate its season to date with its annual postseason awards luncheon, banquet, and other forms of celebratory activities. 1 p.m. at the Hayes Mansion. You can make a reservation with the Director of Football Operations, Brian McGinnis. His phone number is 408-924-1235. Email address is Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, .McGinnis, M-C-G-I-N-N-I-S, @sgsu.edu. Be a festive affair. Lots of Spartan fans will be there. You should come too. And now we'll bring in the number one Spartan, San Jose State football coach, Mike MacIntyre.
Saturday night was an absolute blast, phenomenal football game. On the headsets during the game, I told the coaching staff, this would be a lot of fun to be sitting in the stands watching or watching on television, but coaching it's very, very nerve-wracking. But it was a great game. Our kids have done what they've done all along, played extremely hard the entire football game, and we came out and won the second half. And we've done that all year long, and it won't stop. We're just they have a never-say-die attitude. It's been an absolute blast. And now we're getting ready to go play in the bowl game. I can't wait to find out where we're going. Kids can't either. So we can go try to have a chance to get our 11th win and make a little history. And that's what they're trying to do today. And tomorrow I gave them off. We met last night, had dinner, talked about the season, and then talked about what our plans were. So they have off today and tomorrow. And then we'll start getting back into football stuff Wednesday. And then we should find out, I guess, this weekend where our bowl site is, and then we'll be able to set up all our practices as we go. Our kids are starting to get a lot of honors, which they should, and it's exciting. Fales was again on the Manning list this week. Bené Benwikere got the National Player of the Week, and at the end of the year so far, our scoring offense is 30th in the nation, and our scoring defense is 25th in the nation. You can talk about yards, we're good in all those different things, but the whole deal is scoring more points and holding them to less points. And we've really improved in that area. A couple of the things we wanted to do this year we were able to do. Our completions and rush attempts was phenomenal. That's not something kept by NCAA as a statistic. That's something we keep. That's a big area for us to be successful in offense, and we did that. And then defensively, we wanted to be able to stop the run and keep them out of the end zone. And we were able to do that. We were 20th in the nation right now in rush defense. And we played Navy, Stanford, Louisiana Tech, Utah State, Texas State. All those teams are way up there in rushing offense. So I thought that we did a phenomenal job with that. Coach Bear in the defense, Brian Lindgren in the offense. And the special teams did a great job this year. And our kicker has done a phenomenal job, Austin Lopez. So we had a good year, and it's not done yet. That's the exciting thing about it. It was great to honor the seniors, but that's the first time I've been in the situation to honor the seniors and know that I'm going to get to see them again and get to spend some time with their families at the bowl site and just enjoy and be able to send them off the right way. So still a lot of exciting times ahead. And then our kids got excited. Last night we found out about 30 minutes before our meeting that we were number 25 in the country in BCS. And to see the looks on those kids' faces when they saw that thrown up there, they cheered, they smiled. The guys that have been through when we were about 120th, maybe the worst one in America, and in the last, after our first year we weren't very good. Nobody believed in us, but our kids were getting better, and I could see it before our eyes. But really, in the last 18 months, we've gone from about 120 to 25. And that's exciting, and those kids have done it, and that coaching staff has done it, and that's a great reward. And what we want to do is win the bowl game to stay in it. we don't want to just be in it for 1 week. We want to be in it for a while. So that's our goal, and it's exciting times for us here, really. So I'll take any questions at this time.
Coach, the goal of top 25 has come to fruition. The goal is almost here. How much further can you take this program?
Woo! We didn't win a championship. That's something that we want to do, no doubt. And to get in a BCS game, that's what we want to do. And I think those are realistic goals in the future. I think that the program's going that way. And, there's things we got to do with our team. We've got to get better at things. There's things we got to do with facilities. There's a whole combination. But everybody's moving that way, and it's really exciting to me, and it's really exciting to our kids. And it's making a difference out on the recruiting trail, I can promise you that.
I know you said after the game that, hopefully with one more win you'd get in the top 25. Were you caught a little bit off guard to get in there?
When I saw that we were 26th and 27th, Lawrence called me and said, we're 26th and 27th in the two polls. And I said, the BCS hadn't come out yet. And I said, I wonder where the computers will put us, because we've played some very good football teams. And when they kind of really take that into, all the facts and figures, and the computers had us at 21. So that's where we got that jump. And so, it's exciting. And our kids know that it's the hard work they put in, and they got to keep putting in hard work. And they want to stay there because they achieved it. When you achieve something that nobody believes you can do but those guys, and they put the work in and they do it, and they see the building blocks and they see the hard work and the perseverance and all the effort and understand what it takes, and they've kind of gotten there. Now they want to keep it there. It was I can't tell you, when I pulled it up there and I just stood back and just kind of looked at the kids, that was an awesome moment for me personally, just to see the joy on their faces when they saw that.
Coach, there's been a bit of speculation about other schools wanting to take you away from us. Have you had any offers from other schools at all, any contact whatsoever?
No, all I'm worried about right now is the bowl game, making sure all these kids are doing what they're supposed to in school, so they'll all be ready for the bowl game. And then we're on the road recruiting. Our guys are out. We met yesterday on recruiting. We got out, and I'll be going to kids' houses this week. And so we're rolling right along.
Coach, the last 2 weeks, both national television games,
Yeah.
complete polar opposite games, a really hard-fought defensive struggle late and a win, and then the shootout that everyone probably stayed up past their bedtime to finish watching. What do those two wins and those two games mean for the program?
Wow. I think Gene Blademeyer put it the best to me, and he wasn't putting pressure on me at all. He just said, when you get on national television, if you can win those, it kind of multiplies the win, if that makes sense, especially for our situation. And we did that. And I talked to the staff about that. I didn't talk to the kids about that, but I talked to the staff about how we need to keep being focused, keep understanding. And then, we get these, it multiplies it. So we beat BYU, and that kind of sent out a national antennas, I would say. And then everybody knew Louisiana Tech that poor old Louisiana Tech. Sonny Dykes has done a phenomenal job there. 9 days ago, they were going to be in a BCS game, and they lose a heartbreaker to Utah State, and then they lose to us, which I think Louisiana Tech, Utah State, and us are definitely top 25 football teams. And so that was tough on them. So I think beating BYU and then turn around and beating Louisiana Tech, it kind of signified what we had done all year. And we barely lost to Stanford, and Utah State beat us, and we had some chances there. We just couldn't tackle Chucky Keaton, which I noticed nobody can. So that's how it went. So I think it's big for us. Yes, I do.
Win or lose against Louisiana Tech, was it going to be part of the game plan to put extra emphasis on making sure the seniors got a chance to make their mark in that game?
Wow. We wanted them to make their mark, but in no way, shape, or form did we say we're going to play the seniors more than ever. We're going to play our players to win the football game. And the seniors got to play and did well. Travis Johnson, he's hurt. He was hurt. He didn't practice really all week. He kind of just went through some drills. I know Jimmy was out there and saw it and said he's not doing much. I said, yeah, but he'll play on Saturday, and he did. And he played well. It was exciting to see them to do that. But, we were going to try to win the football game any way we could, and they did.
Coach, can you maybe list off 5 points on, from when you took over years ago to where this program is now, 5 key elements that really were the most important to.
Ooh, 5 key elements. Well, I would say the first thing was the backing of our administration, our athletic department, to do everything in their power to make sure we were building a program, not a team. Tireless effort by everyone, raising money for our program, being able to ensure that we could have the bridge program, that we could have year-round school, that we could have year-round weight program. So to me, that was the first key that they did. The second key was our kids buying into it, and Dave Foreman and our strength program taking and developing and changing our football team. Nothing against the football players that were here the first year that were with me. They hadn't been in that type of system. And when we got off the bus, we didn't look like a very good football team. When we get off the bus now, we look like a pretty good-looking football team. And we're not fat and sloppy, and we're athletic, and we got height and size and speed. That's how you win with good athletes. The third thing is in our academic side of it, which is the first most important, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head, our APR, our attrition rate has not gone down. We have 85 scholarships. We have a full loaded team out there. We have 105 guys at practice. So we're able to practice. We're able to do all the things. And we're able to keep our kids on track to graduate. So therefore, you don't lose a bunch of guys every year, and you're able to build a football team. The fourth thing would be these are not in exact order, our coaching staff. Have a phenomenal coaching staff, and I've been able to keep the core of them intact. With our defensive coordinator, Kent Bear, with our offensive line coach, Gary Bernardi, all of those people, and then all the other guys have done a phenomenal job. We've had some changes, but our staff has really worked well together and worked really hard, and I've got some phenomenal staff members that are excellent coaches and care about kids. And then I'd say the fifth thing was the camaraderie of our football team. They really care about each other, and they've built a closeness. I think they really bought into the idea that everybody has a role. And you do your role the best you can, and your role changes every week, depending on injuries and different situations and different offense and defenses you played. They bought into what we were telling them. They bought into it 100%. And I think once they tasted victory, they wanted to keep tasting it. And so it's been exciting, since the Navy game last year. We've won 12 of the last 14 games, so it's been going on for a while, and we've won 6 in a row. So I think there's a million other things that go into it, but I think the overall attitude of the culture has changed to understanding the work ethic. Every day you got to strap it on. Every day you got to strap it on in the classroom. Every day you got to strap it on in the weight room. Every day you got to strap it on the football field. And you got to be the type of person we want them to be off the field. And I feel like we've been able to do that.
Do you think the BCS ranking helps in terms of looking, attractiveness to the different bowls out there?
Yes, I think it does. If you're sitting on a bowl committee and you can get a top 25 team, I think it does. I really do. And I think the 10 wins does also. The old saying is that, I guess, winning makes you look a little prettier than maybe sometimes. Hopefully that's what it does for us.
Can you talk a little bit more about Bené's performance in the second half, those 3 picks?
Yeah, he's a ball hawk. Our guys even laugh about it all the time. Like in practice, it happens too. It's just natural. Wherever the ball is, Bené shows up, and he just has that knack. Some people do. He has great ability. He has great leaping ability. He can run. And, he was hampered early in the year and didn't get to go through spring practice full speed because he got operated on. So that's kind of – he was – but that also shows you the depth of our team. That's why we're a good football team. And his ball hawking ability has been huge for us, and he did it Saturday night. We felt like we knew Louisiana Tech would move the football. They moved it on everybody. We wanted to take away the run, which we did. They are averaging 250-something yards a game rushing. I think they had 67 yards or something to that effect. So we made them throw it. And, yeah, we knew they complete some passes. I didn't know if the guy would make Lynn Swan catches all night on us, but we just kept battling. We felt if we made them get one-dimensional that we would be able to cause turnovers, which they haven't been doing, and we did that.
Coach, what do you think this BCS ranking will do in terms of like the reaction of the students? What kind of reaction are you expecting from in terms
I hope
of
it has a
students?
good reaction on the students. We need to get it out in the student paper and get it on the student television, and maybe send out an email to the professors. That'd be good. But I think it'll do good. Hopefully, they've been supporting us. The students have been awesome at the games. I know some of them were home for Thanksgiving, but I thought we had a really, really good crowd there Saturday night that was very, very loud. And one of my good friends is the receivers coach, believe it or not, for Louisiana Tech. We had coached together in another place, and he said it was really loud in there because, the sound in that bowl, it really gets loud. And he felt like that it bothered them offensively some, the loudness of the game, which was great.
Which loss would you most like to have back? Obviously, you're playing your best football
Both.
right now. Yeah. I mean, is it against the non-conference powerhouse school or the one that essentially cost you the WAC title?
Both of them, I guess, on an exact level of the conference, of course the conference one, on an exact area of going to church and hanging out at the restaurant and seeing people the Stanford game. So, I guess either one of those. But, we'd like to have them both back if we could. But can't cry over spilt milk. You just got to keep moving forward.
Coach, you briefly mentioned the APR earlier.
Yes.
The 10-win season, how much more gratifying is it knowing that the success of your team in the classroom was just about as good as on the field?
Well, I think it goes hand in hand, and I think that our kids understand, they're coming here to graduate and be very productive in society and have a great career and take care of their families and everything and enjoy life. Football is their vehicle to help pay for that. So they need to understand that. Use the football to be able to achieve what they want to achieve in life and enjoy playing. But they're only going to get to play for so long. But they're going to have a career for a long time after that. And they get it. They really do. But still, when you're 18 years old, sometimes you want to sleep in, and sometimes a good-looking girl, you want to stay out later than you should. There's all those things. So I think that they've been focused and done what they're supposed to do.
Coach, just on a side note, doing a feature on Blake Church. I could hope you could talk about his progression this year and what he brings to the table. And then secondly, in terms of recruiting with these two big wins, you guys haven't had any 5-star or 4-star athletes recruiting-wise in the last couple of years. You're doing this with 2-star guys, according to Scout.com. What do you expect coming through after those wins?
Well, Blake has done a phenomenal job for us. I call him the Blake Dozier. I nicknamed him that. He's a big, strong athlete. That's a very, very good player. He competed right down to the wire for the starting quarterback job. He adds a dimension to our team. We play him in every game. I talked to one coach that's not on our schedule anymore after this year, and I asked him, how much did y'all have to prepare for what Blake does? And they said, they had to take 10 minutes to 15 minutes every day because of the different things we do with Blake, which takes him away from preparing for Noel Grigsby and Otten. And so all of that is big for us. So Blake is a great part of our team and has helped us be successful this year. As far as the recruiting goes, of course, those wins help, and playing on national television helps. The 4 stars and the 5 stars, I really don't ever look at the stars. I'll be honest with you, I never do. The best player I've ever signed was a guy named Patrick Willis. He was a 2-star. And so we evaluate kids. There's a lot of great players in California that we recruit extremely hard. And, some of them won't be ranked as high as stars, but I've got a bunch of them on my team now that'll be playing on Sundays eventually that were 2 stars or even 1 stars. So we just go out and evaluate the kids. We do our traveling camps, which really helps us work with kids and meet their parents and evaluate them and find out the type of young men that we want here. We want good athletes that want to be successful in school, that want to be successful off the field, and that really honestly have a chip on their shoulder. They're hungry. They want to prove something. And I still think that's a big part of being successful in college football. And I think of being successful in anything, anywhere. If you're hungry and don't feel like you're entitled, that's a big deal on being successful in life.
Once the bowl's announced, you guys are going to have 20-plus days to prepare. How are you going to handle that layover?
Very good question. We're going to practice. We will practice with the, quote, varsity guys for a while, and then we'll let them go lift and do something, and then we'll practice with the younger guys and kind of get an extra spring practice out of it. And, all the programs that keep doing well every year, when you think about it, they get an extra 10 to 12 days of practice. They basically get a spring practice in, because when you go to spring practice nowadays, you have to have 3 days in shorts, and then you have a spring game. So you only really get about 9 or 10 real practices. And so this helps us add to that, and we're going to utilize that to the fullest.
How tough is this week going to be, and how much are you going to be, obsessing over seeing what kind of options are out there for you guys bowl-wise?
I'm just letting Gene handle that. What we've done is decided that we'll just get through this week, and we can take a break wherever the bowls fall this week in a way of kind of letting our guys recover and some of our injury guys get back, and they'll still be running and lifting starting Wednesday, and then Sunday we'll make our plans and then start next Monday, depending where our bowl, if it bowl falls on January 1st, or if the bowl falls on December 22nd, or wherever it falls, then we can plan everything out. And then we got exams in the middle of that, so we got to make sure that we're sharp and don't mess up the exam period, so the kids can be as successful as they can in that period. Yes.
There is a long layoff towards the bowl game potentially. Do you project to be fully healthy for that game?
I sure hope so. I think that we'll definitely have Tyler Urban back. I think we'll definitely have Damon Ogburn back full speed. That'll give Travis Johnson some more time to get back close to full speed. I think, all those guys are nicked up a little bit, but I definitely think we'll have Tyler Urban and Damon Ogburn back, which are big, big keys for us.
Coach, something you said all the way back when you started here is that first recruiting class, it was so tough because it was late in the game and there was a lot of sleeping on couches involved. Yep. Talk about just the evolution from there, and then the 1-12 season, 5-7 to now 10-2.
Right. The first year I got here, we were way behind the 8 ball and went out and recruited extremely hard, and we were really blessed, to be honest with you. We signed some really good football players that have made this thing turn around, and they've just done phenomenal. And if you just look at that junior class and that redshirt sophomore class, you can see how many of those guys are playing key roles and playing really well. And they've been through the fire. They've been through the hard times, and they're not going to be denied. And so that's a neat thing. That's something that we have to pass on to our younger kids. And I think they're getting it because they hear us talk about it all the time. They're kind of getting this and doing this and thinking it's just going to happen, and our guys are telling them, it doesn't just happen. And so that's made a big difference. And then in the 5-7 year, we were laughing about it as a staff the other day. We were talking how far we've come, and I just laughed. I said, thank goodness we beat New Mexico State that day. That was a nip-and-tuck game, and we got it done. And once we did that, I knew all along, I really did, I saw it happening on the practice field, and I kind of saw us in the games tighten up sometimes. And once we did that, the floodgates opened, and we went and beat Colorado State. And then we went down to BYU and didn't play good the first half, could have beat them in the second half. And then we beat Hawaii. And then we lost 2 heartbreakers on the last play of the game, but we were right there. And then we go beat Navy, and we go beat Fresno, and that's just kind of, now we've just run with it. So I think that everybody asked me what was the biggest game of my career here, New Mexico State. And everybody goes, what? I said, because if we don't get that one, the floodgates don't open. And they opened after that.
Coach,
yes.
you mentioned about recruiting earlier that, you're going to be going around the Bay Area, going around the houses, hoping to recruit kids. What kind of talent are you really excited about that might be coming around next year? What are you most excited about in the future in terms of the players?
We're a lot of them. We're going to recruit guys at every position. We don't have a tremendous amount of scholarships to offer this year, so we're going to have to be. We don't have as many to give because we've done so well in our academic area and hadn't had as much attrition. So we're going to be out. We're looking for a little bit at every position, and what we usually do. We look at our junior class, not our senior class. We look at our junior class, and we're signing to replace our junior class, okay? Because most of the freshmen come in will redshirt or play a little bit. We don't recruit to replace our seniors. We did that last year. We've got 2 or 3 tight ends sitting there that we hope will be ready to replace, Ryan Otten and Peter. For example. So we're doing all that. So we'll sign a few receivers this year because we got a few receivers that are juniors. So I think we're looking in those areas. But it's exciting. We've had a great response, and hopefully we got a recruiting weekend coming up this weekend, and we got a recruiting weekend coming up December 8th, and that's the earliest we've ever done it. We felt like we needed to because so many kids are interested. We needed to know before Christmas, so that we know what we need to go get after Christmas. Maybe it might not be anything. We might be done, which is the first time since I've been here that's been able to be done.
You talked earlier about the talent on this team and a few guys that should be playing on Sundays. Who do you think on this team is NFL quality?
Well, the seniors, Ryan Otten, Travis Johnson, David Quisenberry, Ina Leina, let's see who else. Of the seniors, hang on a second. And then Peter Tuiatupo, other tight end. It's hard to believe, but I definitely think he can. He's just a different tight end than Ryan. I also think that in the secondary that James Orth would have a shot because he can run so well and do some things that he would have a shot there. And De'Leon Eskridge, our tailback, will definitely have a shot. There might be some other guys out there, but right now those would be the seniors that I think all have a shot to do it. Ryan Otten's been accepted accept an invitation to the Senior Bowl. Some of the other guys are being invited to bowl games, as we talk about for the upcoming. And we've had every day at practice. There's 2 or 3. Y'all have seen them, 2 or 3 pro scouts at every practice. So that's exciting for our kids. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, that will do it for today, November the 26th. A reminder that the team's annual awards banquet is Sunday, December 2nd. You can make a reservation again by contacting Football Operations Director Brian McGinnis at 408-924-1235. Once San Jose State receives its bowl news, we'll have another press conference here that you'll be able to watch on the Gold Zone on www.sjsuspartans.com. Thanks very much.